I had my two oldest, Fielding and Wren. We had boogie boards. We were out at the sandbar waiting for the waves to come in. And all of a sudden, the dark shadow.
Dolphins, though, right?
No. Yeah. Pretty big shark.
What?
Right there. Maybe 10 feet away from Fielding.
How big was it?
Just kind of moving through. I mean, it's hard to gauge underwater. It was at least 6 feet.
Wow.
But it's hard to gauge, like looking down at it. I mean, it was big. It wasn't as big as the couch. And that couch is what, 10 feet? No, not even. So 8 feet. So like 6 foot shark.
That's
6
big.
foot shark. Just kind of cruising. He wasn't doing anything. Just hanging. And I was like, I'm the dad. I gotta remain calm. And so I'm like, hey kids, we're just gonna come on, like, just swim over this way. We gotta get off the sandbar. And they're like, why, Dad? I'm like, do I lie to them? This is the moment. Do I say no big deal? I gotta go to the bathroom, or what? And so I typically choose like, Dad's gotta go poop, kids. Come on in.
Of all the things, you could have been like, I think I saw some jellyfish.
Yeah.
Get away, quick.
Well, howdy, folks. You are listening to the Daytripper Podcast. I am Chet Garner, your host. Joining me on the couch is Daniel Mecey.
Howdy.
Howdy, everyone. It's July 2022, and we're talking some Texas. It's been a pretty busy month.
Oh, man.
A lot of stuff going on. But before we get into it, remember, listening to this Daytripper Podcast entitles you to 20% off of the Daytripper World Headquarters goods. So use the code PODCAST. You can use it online, or you walk in, say podcast as if it's like a secret word, and you'll get 20% off there.
It's like free money.
Free money.
Just do it.
We got some good stuff in there too. The Yeti stuff is there. Turtle box, tank tops for the summer, all kinds of goodies. So, and also remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you can. All these things help. Leave us a review, or if you want to throw us a virtual tomato in our face, we take those too. We have to have bad comments to fill up the end of this podcast. We got some good ones this month, and so if you hate us, we love to hear about that as well. Leave a comment. Okay, all right. So before we jump into whatever, meanwhile in Texas and all that stuff, I want to talk about where we are right now. Like breaking records is a good thing, right?
Usually.
Depends
on the record.
Sometimes you want to break records, sometimes you don't. And we are currently in the midst of a record-breaking summer heat wave. Did you know this?
I've heard, and I've felt it.
Walked outside. That's all I had to do. So May of 22 was the hottest on record in the city of Austin. Hottest on record ever. And we didn't just blow away our average. We beat it by over 5.5 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
So that was the hottest day on record. We have lots of the hottest days on record, but as far as an average goes, we were 5.5 degrees hotter than the other average, which is like you look at the scales and the graphs if you're a nerd chart person, and it just goes, the hottest time we've ever beat the average, like maybe 2-3 degrees. We beat it by 5. So we're doing double more than we ever have.
Yeah. Texas, baby.
Us.
Texas.
Go us. Okay, so you know this. I don't know if our podcast listeners do. Hottest... You probably forgot because I did. What's the hottest temp ever recorded in Texas?
In Texas?
Yes. Hottest temp ever recorded.
It's got to be like 120 something.
It is exactly 120, smart man. So it was set in Seymour, Texas in 1936. It was matched again in Monahans in 1994.
Where's Seymour?
Seymour is up by Wichita Falls.
Oh, wow.
The scorched earth of Wichita Falls.
Now, I could see West Texas,
yeah.
Monahans. But Seymour? Okay.
There's I think it's in this little heat blowing off of Oklahoma because Oklahoma sucks. So it's just kind of like, it's in this like scorched earth bed of Hades being Oklahoma, burning it up, plus the Texas heat, something like that.
Love it.
Doesn't really make sense if you think about it, but all right. So anyway, hottest temps ever recorded in the major cities. I'm a stat nerd, so I love all this stuff. Austin, hottest temp ever recorded, 112.
No.
112.
Wow.
San Antonio, we beat San Antonio, 111.
Man.
But Dallas beats all of us, 113. And then Houston comes in at a 109. They get that good coastal breeze going. They drop
that's
them down to
nasty
109.
109.
Yeah, because it was also 1,000% humidity. So the record-setting summer, we are 88% of Texas is currently in a drought condition, and we every day consecutively now have set records for, not every day, but this week, set records for megawatt usage from ERCOT. You ready for that, baby? Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Why am I wearing pants right now?
Why are you wearing pants? I'm in summer mode. I got the jort cutoffs and the flip-flops. I even went an extra button down on the shirt to get a little more breathability.
I put the V-neck on,
That counts. That counts. So, I mean, what do you do? You're Texas. I don't like complaining about the heat, although that's what so many people do. You just sort of bear it. I mean, this is where we were raised for these moments.
We really were. If you're from Texas, don't talk about the weather. You know, we know.
Man, it's hot out here.
Somebody says anything like, just go, Texas, man, just Texas.
It's Texas, dude. Texas, brother. It is what it is. I mean, look, this is just as a piece of advice for folks out there watching. Like, you got two options. You either stay inside, find inside activities. That's fine. Go to museums, go to the movies, or go swimming.
Yeah.
You know?
We got plenty of swimming holes.
Plenty of swimming holes. So don't quit complaining. Just go out and live with it. Enjoy it. Don't just stay inside and complain. We got air conditioning.
Hey, but seriously,
God's gift to humanity.
Do you ever, just being in Texas with these crazy weather, you know, back and forth, because when it gets cold, it gets cold. Mm-hmm. When it gets hot, and it's usually not cold, but when it gets hot, I mean, obviously, what did people do back in the late 1800s when they're coming through here?
They were tougher than us.
They were way tougher.
We're just babies.
We are definitely babies.
So, I mean, you just sort of gather around the potbelly stove in the winter, or like in the summer. I remember talking to my grandma about this. They would like just open the windows and you stayed outside and you laid on the concrete like a cat, you know, because the concrete was usually in the shade, you know, and just like drew on the sidewalk, you know, whatever. It brought everybody outside and make yourself a cold glass of lemonade.
Wow.
You know? I think they were just tougher than us.
Yeah.
We're babies. All babies. So, but it is hard. I mean, like, can you imagine being buried in a studio like this pre-AC? Why would we even have a studio? No, you know, no one would. Only Hollywood had.
With all these cameras around.
With all these cameras and these computers.
But
and
no AC.
Yeah. So, anyway, we are headed into a doozy, folks. Hunker down. Enjoy it. Don't let the summer be just a bunch of complaining about the heat. Because we're Texas and we shouldn't do that.
Hey, change your AC filters. I'm just going to tell you that now.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
You want the AC to last through the summer?
Oh, man.
Change your filters.
Your AC just went out.
I didn't change the filter.
Oh, this is a tough lesson.
No, I did. It wasn't just that. I mean, new ACs don't last as long as the ones from the 80s.
Again, this is true.
I don't know what the deal is, but...
Very true. Very true. All right, so let's go into what we've been up to. So, Daniel, what you been up to?
I've been melting in this heat, for one.
You just broke rule number one. Don't complain about the heat.
You just said we're babies.
Okay,
I'm just proving
it,
you know? Editing like crazy, as usual. Working with cool clients, you know?
Yep.
I've been finding myself out at Garrison Brothers every once in a while.
Speaking of, shameless plug because it's on the cup.
Oh, look at that. No, I didn't mean that. Immediately switch to that side.
It's also here on the wall. We've been still working on that documentary.
We're working on the documentary.
Pretty close to showing to people, though. Pretty close.
It's looking really, really good. And speaking of Garrison, somebody just became the last member.
Old 300,
of the
baby.
Old 300.
So, yeah, you might want to explain what that is.
So, basically, Garrison Brothers has this program called the Old 300, which, if you are from Texas, you've probably heard of the Old 300. It's the first families that Stephen F. Austin brought over to settle in the area. Well, they did their own version of the Old 300, and it's for people that love Garrison Brothers and want to spread the word, right?
Right.
And spread the gospel of good bourbon.
That's true.
And so the very last person...
Old 300, only 300 members.
Only 300 members.
Like a kid sliding into home.
Barely made it. I'm just going to point out, I got in and I'm 266, so...
Yeah. That's right.
Beat you.
He's not, If you're not last... if you're not first, you're last. But if you're last, you're first.
I like
the
what
first shall be last. That's from the Bible, and the last shall be first.
I love what I saw somebody said. If you were in the NFL, you'd be Mr. Irrelevant. But
yeah, there was a Facebook comment. That's good stuff. Yeah, so we went to the beach a couple weeks ago, filming for Best Western. Went to Orange Beach, Alabama, and I'm a big fan of Texas beaches. But you know, the Alabama and the Florida beaches are beautiful. there's pros and cons of each. They are not head and shoulders better than Texas, not even close when you start to compare, apples to apples. But beautiful place we stayed. It's a Best Western property right on the beach. You walk out the back door, you were in the sand. Loved it. Family had a blast. But one thing, I don't even think you know this. We were out there. This happened to me. First time this ever happened to me. I had my 2 oldest, Fielding and Wren. We had boogie boards. We were out at the sandbar waiting for the waves to come in. And all of a sudden, the dark shadow.
Dolphins, though, right?
No. Yeah. Pretty big shark.
What?
Right there. Maybe 10 feet away from Fielding.
How big was it?
Just kind of moving through. It's hard to gauge underwater. It was at least 6 feet.
Wow.
But it's hard to gauge, like looking down at it. It was it wasn't as big as the couch. And that couch is what, 10 feet? No, not even. So 8 feet. So like 6 foot shark.
That's
6 foot shark. Just kind of cruising. He wasn't doing anything, just hanging. And I was like, I'm the dad. I gotta remain calm. And so I'm like, hey kids, we're just gonna come on, like, just swim over this way. We gotta get off the sandbar. And they're like, why, Dad? I'm like, do I lie to them? This is the moment. Do I say no big deal? I gotta go to the bathroom, or what? And so I typically choose like, Dad's got to go poop, kids. Come on in.
Of all the things, you could have been like, I think I saw some jellyfish.
Yeah.
Quick.
No, I tend to not. I don't ever like. Obviously, like there's times you don't want to freak your kids out, but in this instance, I said, what? Why, Dad? I was like, well, because there's a shark right behind you, Fielding, and we're gonna get in. And just then they're like, woo! But to my kids' credit, they remained totally calm. I said, shark doesn't want to bother you. Definitely doesn't want to eat you. So, like, let's just keep swimming over here. I don't know
if that's true.
And they go, but it was crazy. So we swim in. The shadow doesn't get closer. He's just cruising. He's just cruising by. But that's one of the downsides of like really clear water. Like you can see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an upside or a downside.
I was gonna say I'd rather see it and know that it's there.
But you got to be, like I've always thought, like there's signage. Be shark aware. I'm like, what's But I can be aware that it's biting my leg. You don't know the shark's there until it's there, like on you. But this actually gave me some calm. Like it was fear of seeing a shark in the water is like, oh gosh, what would happen? But then like it happens, you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Like we saw it swim in, then we get on the shore, and then I'm like, it's going that way. I better go and tell that little lady with, like she's got her baby in the water. And I'm like, ma'am, grab. So I don't want to, like, you don't want to run and go, shark, and freak everybody out.
I probably would have yelled shark.
No.
Been jumping over my kids, get out before them.
Oh, but so my kids, totally calm. We got in. The shark wasn't chasing us. That probably would have sent a better frenzy, like a bigger frenzy. Get in. Walk down the beach, ma'am, grab your kid. It's like, hey, ma'am, grab your kid. There's a shark coming through. She's like, oh, thank you. Grabs her kid, comes in. And then we just watch the shadow kind of cruise the beach.
Wow.
And there was some lady boogie board, and we're like, hey, ma'am, come in, shark. And then it starts to go between her and the beach. Like, never mind. Just stay there. Stay, you're good. Maybe move that way. The shark's swimming this way.
Oh, my God.
So it was kind of crazy. You're just scared of that moment, and then when it happens, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
I would still consider that pretty bad.
No. The dark shadow.
This was like Florida, right? Or Alabama?
This was Alabama.
Okay. I know it's Floribama. So I don't know if you heard, but Port Aransas just had a huge tiger shark.
Really?
It was like 12 or 14 feet.
Wait.
Massive.
Wait,
Massive.
Caught or identified or what?
I think they caught it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, I've been told by plenty of biologists, like, you don't realize, like, Texas is shark-infested waters.
Yeah.
They are. It is.
And tiger sharks are not
Tiger sharks are one of the bad ones.
Yeah.
But just proves you. They're there all the time, and they don't mess. We really have no instances of shark attacks. I mean, it happens every now and then. But Texas, relatively speaking, totally, like, it's just not an issue. Sharks are not.
For the most part.
And they're everywhere, and they don't eat us. So, hey, I think that's okay. I think that's all right.
I don't like sharks, though, Chet.
I know, Daniel. You don't like the beach to begin with.
No, I really don't.
Sand in all of your places.
All my crevices. I must have said that way too many times because everybody knows that about me.
Well, you did say it on the Daytripper, a national PBS show.
That's true. So. I don't like the beach. I like being in the shade. My wife loves heat.
Yeah.
I'd prefer kind of like perfect weather, maybe a little cool. I don't like the beach that much. So it's a huge deal. When I take my family to the beach, I'm like, y'all have fun. We have about 6 hours and I'm out.
This is
I can't do more than that.
Your dad loves you, but I hate this.
Yes.
All right. So Texas has been up to a lot too.
While you've been listening to this podcast, lots of stuff's been going on in the Lone Star State. This is Meanwhile in Texas.
Daniel, what you got?
Okay.
What happened in Texas?
Let me tell you what I just heard about. So there is something that they are calling a, let me see what they're calling it, a UAO. Do you know what that is? You've heard of a UFO.
Yeah, flying object.
Well, this is an unidentified Amarillo object.
Oh, God.
So there's a zoo in Amarillo, and it has cameras all around it.
Okay.
Well, one night it picked up something pretty crazy. I don't know if you can see that picture right there.
Pass this over here.
So basically, it's a chupacabra.
I saw this.
It's a chupacabra.
What is that?
You know, we don't know what that is.
Look, I mean, can you see this? Like, what in the... First off, it looks like that raccoon guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, right?
It kind of does.
He's about to, he just needs a machine gun, and that's totally him.
Very strange.
Okay, what the heck?
So they don't know. Nobody really knows. It was like at 1:30 in the morning. They get back the next day and look at cameras, and they're like,
"Is that inside an enclosure?"
It was not inside the zoo. So they're saying, who knows what it was, but it doesn't really look like a costume. It looks like...
That looks like
a werewolf.
Freaking something walking upright.
It really does. Its legs look weird.
I kind of see raccoon, right? Right, but long, but with weird gangly legs.
Here's the thing: that if you look at it, like that is tall. That isn't.
Sure.
I mean, it's probably half that fence, and that fence is probably a 10-foot fence.
Yeah.
So it's at least 5 or 6 feet tall.
All right, we'll put the story in the comments of the podcast. But what the heck?
I don't know. This just happened like early June.
Oh, man.
Just happened.
That's
it's
freaky.
chupacabra.
I don't know. In that, we've got no explanation.
They have no explanation. They're actually asking if anybody has any ideas. Mail them into the Amarillo Zoo.
Can raccoons walk upright?
I'm sure they could, but again,
the head looks like a raccoon.
If you saw a 5-6 foot tall raccoon, that's just as freaky.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying. You're trying to normalize this.
That's okay. Yeah. You lose scale. So that's a 10-foot fence, and that's 4 or 5 foot tall.
Have to be. Okay, weird. Even if it was 3 feet tall, walking upright, what the heck is it,
raccoon
man?
Should be about 2.5, huh? 2 foot, maybe not even.
I don't know. It's strange.
Creepy.
Man. That is strange. Like I said, chupacabra.
All right,
I'm calling it right now.
I've got it's got to be.
But Amarillo. So that is weird. Usually we see the chupacabra down south.
Yeah. That's a South Texas dwelling.
Yeah.
Mammal.
But you never know. I mean, they could be migrating.
Yeah. When we can't find the animal to study it, they could have all kinds of habits. I mean, all kinds.
South Texas is getting dangerous for the chupacabra.
Yeah.
People they know about it. They're looking for it. They're migrating north, is my theory.
Oh, gosh, this is just the end of all. Oh, I saw this story. This is unrelated, but speaking of animals kind of moving around, there was a Texas Parks and Wildlife released some footage of a black bear swimming across Lake Amistad. That's not even my story, but I was like, it was swimming, and they're like, get ready, the bears are coming to the beaches. What the heck? All right, I've got another story. It's not crypto science, but it is kind of it's a 1 in a million, multi-million chance that you would ever see this. So we have 2 primary kinds of deer in Texas. We have
whitetail and axis,
mule deer.
And axis is exotic.
Axis that counts. Count. That's exotic, but yeah,
we do have mule deer, South Texas,
and we have pronghorns, but those are kind of rare.
Okay.
So anyway, our 2 main types are mule deer and whitetail deer. Well, Texas Parks has officially spotted a black mule deer. Probably the first that's ever existed in Texas, because it's a 1 in multi-million chance that you would have this condition called melanism.
Yeah, that's the opposite of albino.
Yes. So, but albinos, not common, but
more common.
And this is like a black mule deer.
Wow.
It's a fawn, brand new baby, Trans-Pecos region of Texas, so sort of down around Lake Amistad maybe. But they're going to keep their eye on it, because this is it's like a white unicorn kind of thing.
Or a black
And
one.
I was Googling black mule deer, does it happen? And evidently one just died in Moab that they've been watching. It's like these deer, because they're so rare, become like celebrities. So like seeing it is like seeing the chupacabra, but it's like a real scientifically explained
That's
thing.
cool. That's cool.
Not to say your animal didn't exist. but
Clearly I showed you a picture of it.
yeah,
it
yeah.
exists.
Any
It
picture
does
on the
exist.
internet is clearly truth.
Hey, which of the two of us showed a picture?
I got a picture. There is a picture.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Oh, dang it. This is true. This is true.
I'd love to see that black
Yeah.
mule deer. That'd be cool.
Just don't shoot it. That's going to be like, I wanted that on my wall.
I wouldn't shoot that. I would
yeah.
observe it from a distance and
then you let it
admire.
let it go.
I'd shoot it with a camera.
It's a baby now, so in a couple years, let's hope.
That's cool.
All right. So let's jump into the Texas Music Minute. We bring you guys some music from the state of Texas. Maybe you've heard, maybe you hadn't. This is one of my favorite country artists. He's very good, but I'm bringing him up. He doesn't have a new album, but he has written a new song, sort of, for all of us. He's recorded an old song.
Okay.
So, all right. Ready, Daniel? What is the DQ jingle?
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Well done. So, Josh Abbott is now the new singer of the DQ jingle.
What?
All right, they made a big deal about this.
Oh, that's cool.
They contacted Josh. So Josh Abbott, the Josh Abbott band, are kind of based out of Lubbock, sort of Austin. I mean, they're traveling, they're rambling men. But Josh was born outside of Lubbock in a little town called Idalou. Him and his band have been around for well over a decade, doing the Texas country thing, have a huge following. And he has written, well, I was like, did he write a new song, whatever? No, he just kind of put his Abbott spin on it. And I'm going to play it for you right now. Are you ready?
Are we listening to the DQ jingle?
We are. The new, improved
Okay.
DQ. No, I've got a song too, but this is just, the reason I picked the song is because of this. Ready?
That's what I like about Texas.
So it's a little bit punchier.
Yeah, a little punchier.
DQ versus before it was DQ. So, yeah, let's give it one more go.
That's what I like about Texas.
That's a pretty awesome opportunity, like, right?
You know, why didn't they ask you? They could ask you. You're Chet Garner. You're the Daytripper.
I know.
That's the Texas
People
stop
like,
sign right there.
It is. You know, and Texas Country Reporter had the DQ sponsorship forever.
Uh-huh.
And so I was always thinking, like, what's the sign that I made it? Maybe if I get the DQ sponsorship. But we got the Rudy sponsorship, which honestly is better.
Well, okay, then talk to Rudy's. They need a song.
They need a jingle. Rudy's, that's what they make some tasty barbecue. Like, just rip it straight off.
Oh gosh.
We could write one.
Well, we're gonna do a
You
jingle.
know what?
They're gonna say we don't want it,
next
Chet.
month's podcast, I'm gonna have the new Rudy's jingle.
Let's do it.
They don't know they need it, but they don't know they want it, but they need it, right? Okay, so here is the actual Josh Abbott song, and I thought this would be a good one. This is from his latest album, which came out in 2020. Settle Me Down.
What good's a highway without a destination? What good's a house without someone to come home to? What's a night at the top of the world without you there beside me? No, there ain't no good in it without you. You settle me down when I go too far, when I burn too fast, when I lose my way. Hold on to me, whisper to my soul, put my heart at ease when I'm about to break. Always got the wind at my back, 'cause you still love me when I live like that. Open my eyes, keep me around, pull me back in, settle me down, settle me down.
It's a good tune.
It's a great tune.
It's a great tune. So,
You know that I can see why they picked Josh Abbott.
yeah, come on, man.
You know,
Come on.
one of these days
I'll be
you're
waiting.
gonna sing.
Yeah, a few years from now, I'll do the Daytripper Texas Country album. You know what? One thing that I was like wishing my kids had is just some guy, and it could be Josh Abbott. It might have to be me if no one else does it. Just singing like traditional Texas songs on an album, like Yellow Rose of Texas, or I don't know, Remember the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo?
Well, like
There's a
what's the
song?
song we all sang in elementary school? 13 days in the Alamo in the summer. Did you sing that?
Well, I was going to say I don't remember it, but I guess you don't either.
Not really. Not really. And my kids don't know it either. Well, it was one of these things like, and Davy Crockett stood brave and strong and it sounds like a pirate song when you sing it like that. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Davy Crockett at the Alamo.
No, don't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, neither do I very well. All right, now let's move on to questions.
Are we there yet?
Hey, can you pass me the snacks?
When are we gonna stop? I gotta go.
All right, questions from the backseat. Guys, we love questions. Y'all send them in. Podcast@thedaytripper.com. This one comes from Rhonda Penry. She says, have you thought about doing an episode of Texas Independence? I know you'd make it interesting for us new Texans and how amazing... it's amazing how few people know about the colorful history of Texas. And Rhonda, I picked your question because instant winner. We've already done that. You get that. Like, we went and made it just for you. It's on our YouTube channel, the Daytripper TV. So y'all find the YouTube channel, Texas Revolution Road Trip. And it's about the entire journey from Washington on the Brazos, even before Washington on the Brazos, to San Jacinto. So find that, look it up. It's a great episode.
It's great. It is a 24-minute episode,
it's
so
a full
it doesn't
episode.
have everything in it.
Not everything.
As much as we could fit.
Yep. It at least has all the major stops.
Yes, it does.
All right. This comes from John Arnold. What is your favorite chicken fried steak?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
You're going first because I want to steal your answer.
Bandera had a great chicken fried steak.
Oh, that was good.
But
OTC?
Yep.
Old Spanish Trail.
Old Spanish
OST.
Trail. OST. Green, though.
Oh, the green one we just ate
At
on the
grist
gristmill. That was the
That
next
is
level
excellent.
chicken fried steak.
What do you have?
I was in Marfa recently, and inside of the Hotel Paisano, both of those are like on your upper echelon. Hotel Paisano, Jet's Grill, the restaurant inside of the sorry, that's my computer. The restaurant inside of the hotel has a pistachio crusted chicken fried steak with a jalapeno gravy that is spicy, and that thing is awesome.
I mean, sounds a little bougie.
It is a little bougie. Yeah, I mean,
but I bet it is great.
So, like, you got your flour batter, and they had just thrown a couple pistachios in there, just like a little extra nuttiness and crunch. And then they put a big old fat roasted jalapeno right on top.
I love jalapeno gravy.
Oh, dude. You know, but if you like spicy stuff, once you go jalapeno gravy,
you can't
go
back.
back. Which, plug for Dahlia Cafe.
Oh, seriously.
In Liberty Hill. They've got the jalapeno cream gravy.
That stuff's great.
So, anyway, John, we don't have a favorite, evidently. There's a few options.
My favorite chicken fried steak is the one I'm putting in my mouth.
Amen to that. All right, James Stratton, he said, whatever happened to Sam Houston's Bible? Daniel, what happened? I didn't know. I was like, Sam Houston had a Bible, and there's a mystery surrounding this Bible?
Well, surely he had one.
He had one. Yep, he was a believer. He had a Bible, and he gifted it to the Supreme Court of Texas. So I had to go and research this because I didn't even know this was a thing.
Okay.
So little history lesson first. So he had a Bible. He gifted it to the Supreme Court of Texas during the Republic days.
Okay.
All right? We know that for certain. There is another Bible that looks tattered, worn, that we have been using to swear in governors, Supreme Court justices for over 150 years. Okay?
It's his?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know where this Bible came from.
Because the front page of this Bible has, to the Republic of Texas, blah, blah, blah. It's dated 1804. Then the bottom half of the page, totally ripped out. Totally ripped out. So there's this mystery. Is that Sam Houston's Bible or someone else's Bible? The script is written in that very fluffy, like 1840s script. But the name is gone. So therein lies the mystery. One, where did this Bible come from that we've been swearing in everybody for 150 years as if it's the most important thing on the planet? And then where did that one come from? And is it Sam's? And if it's not, where did Sam's go?
Wow.
So what's cool is we do have a Bible that we swear in our high up officials on that we've been using for a long, long time.
I didn't even know we did that.
Regardless, that's a historic artifact, but is it Sam's? Don't know.
Interesting.
Don't know. So that maybe requires a longer discussion. There's a few mysteries in Texas, like history like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the Gonzalez Come and Take It cannon, but there were these 2 cannons that were used called the Twin Sisters in the Battle of San Jacinto, and those have disappeared. So the day we find the Twin Sisters, that deserves a longer podcast because there's a whole bunch of treasure hunters looking for the Twin Sisters. Where? Where do you look?
Probably with the chupacabra.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That weird thing in Amarillo was showing us the way. All right. Okay, next up, like I say every time, we got fans that don't really have questions. They just have things they need to get off their chest.
Hey, Daytripper, I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh my goodness, it's the Daytripper. We love your show.
Okay, not all of these are bad. We got a good one in the beginning, and
relax.
And this is not to aggrandize what we did, but this is to thank everyone for what all of y'all did. This is from Kevin Miller. He says, a simple note to tell you how much we respect your decision y'all made to help those in Uvalde. I hate that we had to help, but it was simply awesome to see you guys step up and contribute. I only hope our role helped in some small way. So Kevin must have ordered some shirts from our store. I've been a fan because of the decision to donate all your proceeds to help. I'm a lifer, Daytripper fanatic. May the light of our beautiful sun find its way to each of you always. Live strong, Kevin Miller.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was awesome. So thank you guys. With y'all's help, buying stuff at the store, we donated over $5,000 to a couple funds in the Uvalde area and in San Antonio that are going to help the families in need and the continuing needs that are going to be in that community for mental health and those sort of things to deal with the trauma. That was going to help pay for funerals, expenses, maybe even scholarships set up in the funds, in the name of these kids and teachers who lost their lives. Absolutely horrible what happened, but we did what we could. All right, here's something else. This piqued my interest because I had to verify this one. This is from Alan Thacker. He says, "Hey Chet, watch your national park show. When you were talking, you failed to mention that we have a national grassland in the Decatur area." And they said, "Have a nice day." And this is his sign off. "And if the women don't find you handsome, at least they can find you handy." If you can't be handsome, might as well be handy. He's from the Decatur area. So I was like, oh, wait. We got, all right, national park show. You got your national parks, but there's also your national monuments, your national historic sites, your national seashores. And those are all run by the National Park Service, right? So I was like, crap, did we miss one? Like there's national grasslands? So I did some research and turns out, yes, there are, but no, we did not miss them.
Okay.
Because national grasslands go in the same bucket as national forests, which are not overseen by the National Park Service. They are overseen by the National Forestry Department.
This is why I have no idea about it. I was just like, sure, Chet, whatever.
Whatever.
I don't know any of this. It doesn't make sense. Why is it called national anything?
Well, because it's overseen by the national government. It's under the purview of our national federal government. But it's not a park in the sense that they're trying to encourage tourism. So your forests and your grasslands are very much conservation minded.
Okay.
Let's preserve these. Let's maintain them. I mean, you can live inside of a national forest. You cannot live inside of a national park.
Well, I did know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I assume you can live inside of a national grassland, but you just got to kind of like play by the rules.
Like, don't mow.
Yeah. Scott's
what is with all this grass?
Doesn't make wow, gosh. Grass everywhere.
I'd get kicked out so quick.
Hey, anyway, thanks, Alan. It was a good education that you inspired me to go down. All right, this comment is one that starts off kind of bad and then it kind of turns good, I guess. It's a YouTube comment from a guy none other than BFD. That's all he goes by. So this is a plug for our YouTube channel. We just started releasing our road trip episodes, which are full-length episodes. It's the first time we've ever done this. We'll release a series. So we've got our barbecue road trip up, taco road trip up, world food road trip up, swimming holes road trip up. And this one came on our tacos road trip. So when you put something on YouTube, you get a national audience, guys, right? This is a very controversial guy from California. He said, "I was honestly about to rip this business." He doesn't talk like that. He's from California. "Hey, guys, I was honestly about to rip this business over having a gringo do all the tasting and talking." Gringo. That's me. I'm the gringo. But after seeing this video and seeing how different our tacos are from Texas, it's probably better they used a white guy. I'm also from Fresno, California, and Fresno is the agricultural capital of the world, and I mean California is the king of Mexican food. Yeah, wow. Now you're laughing. The king of Mexican food? I'd say Mexico's probably king of Mexican food.
I would probably say so.
But, you know, I would say Texas, without a doubt, crushes California Mexican food.
We've got different
Destroys
styles.
it.
They've got California Mexican food. We have Tex-Mex.
Yeah, it is a different style.
It's different, but I'm going to have to say Tex-Mex trumps California Mexican food.
This is true.
But like you said, Mexico probably is
the king of Mexican food. But Tex-Mex is different than Mexican food. So it is a little bit different to compare them. But, I mean, that's just talking stupid to say that California is better at Mexican food than Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him this. It's a subjective thing. Yeah. It's up to everybody's opinion. However, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So,
and sure. We'll look past the racism that a white guy can't talk about Mexican food. We won't even talk about that. All right. So, but anyway, BFD, thank you for your comment. I'm going to go and respond to you, and maybe we can get into an all-out war about Texas versus California Mexican food.
Oh, my gosh. Why do you think all the people are moving here from California?
They are.
Dude, it's for the food,
they are.
Man.
But I wonder if people from California who moved to Texas go, oh, man, I mean, this Tex-Mex is okay, but I miss California Mexican food.
You know, I've actually talked to many people, have many friends that are from California, and they love Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Something they really miss is the California burrito.
That's true.
And that is a specific burrito.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. And when I first heard that, I was like, dude, try a burrito here. And they're like, no, you don't understand. It's called the California burrito. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And after I had one, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But
with French fries on it?
I believe it's, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mikey V's on the Georgetown Square, plug for him, makes a California burrito.
Yeah.
Because he, has California roots.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's probably pretty good at it. I've had it before. It's got French fries on it.
Bad.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's different. This is kind of like putting Doritos on your ham sandwich when you're a little kid. You're like, this is amazing. And then you get older, you're like, nah, it's kind of gross. I shouldn't have done that. Same with burrito. Same with fries in the burrito. It's like, okay, it's novel, but I'll eat my Doritos separate from my ham sandwich.
Why not?
I'm just getting upset at this guy. All right. So that wraps up the Daytripper Podcast. Remember, use the code PODCAST if you shop on our store online or in person. Thank you to everybody for watching. Another plug, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we will see y'all down the road. Thank you, John Mark, being the mix master over here on the keys.
The man.
Daniel, as always, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Say bye.
Goodbye.
And bye con Dios, amigos.